Hello everyone and welcome to another Skaredcast video. Today we're going to take a look at how to build a Drukhari army in 10th edition.
The Dark Kid.
The first list we're going to look at is going to be something that's balanced enough to play the cards, usually using tactical missions, which allows you to essentially draw as the game goes on and try and get as many points as possible. So the aim is to be flexible, have some damage, and a little bit of everything to be able to adapt to any situation. Luckily, the rulebook has a handy-dandy how to muster your army. So first, select the battle size. We're going to be using Strike Force, which is 2,000 points. Then we start our army roster, which you can use the Warhammer new app, which is not bad, actually. Select army faction. In this case, it'll be Drukhari. And then we start selecting our detachment rules, which is your detachment. In this case, the Real Space Raiders detachment, which is the only index one available. Then we start selecting units, and you only have a few caveats that you have to follow. Namely, you need to have at least one character, and then you can't take more than 3 of anything else unless it's battle line or dedicated transport, in which case you can have 6 of each of those units in your army, and then one of the characters you select must be your warlord. You can take enhancements for your units, and those cost points. You can have up to 3, and you have to give it to characters. Epic heroes can only be included once, and that's about it. So, knowing that, let's build a list. Drukhari have a couple of character selections available, relatively limited in the grand scheme of things when you look at it from the perspective of a Space Marine. So we got Archon, Succubus, we got a Homunculus, Lilith, Hesperex, and of course Drazar, the Master of Blades. And we only need to take 1. Now, our detachment does encourage us to take 1 Archon, 1 Succubus, which can be Lilith or a Succubus, 1 Homunculus, which can be... Oh, I forgot Urian. Ah, look at that. There we go. Now I've added him back in. So you can have Succubus, Homunculus. Drazar doesn't really count for the real space raid in terms of pain tokens. So, of course, I do like the Archon. I think his abilities are really cool. So I'm going to start the list with one of him. And I'm going to take a Lilith because I like having witches in my list. I'm going to take a regular Homunculus. And for this army list, these characters are going to be left to the wayside. So the rest of the army will be built around these characters. Quick honorable mention to the Beastmaster, who does come stock with his Beast Pack. But as a character, could be the character that you take to lead your whole army, if you wanted to. It is a possibility. You know, maybe a themed list or something like that. It is an option. So in this case, I have decided to take 5 racks to go with the Homunculus, 10 witches, a big unit to go with Lilith Hesperex, and a unit of Cabalite Warriors to accompany my Archon. So that'll essentially be the core of the list. Let's see how we support this. Of course, we're going to need a Raider to make sure the witches and the succubus can go into battle without getting shot, so you put them in the deep strike, that sort of thing. Now, the Archon's abilities don't really work when they are in a transport. His Vect style ability that makes command points more expensive for your opponent or stratagems, and his ability to use something like the Art of Pain or whatever if you gave it to him. So I want to give him a Core to the Archon. Sadly, these miniatures are not readily available by Games Workshop. They have Finecast. You have to either convert them or find them secondhand or find prints that kind of support them. But they join the Cabalite squad and the Archon in a big blob that is relatively durable and does a decent amount of damage and leverages the Archon's abilities. So that's why I like taking that. Which means I do want to have some mobile firepower. So I've added a second unit of Cabalite Warriors in another Raider in order to round out sort of like the troop core of the army itself. The Homunculus, though, is staying with his racks on foot. You could add 5 more racks if you want. You don't need to. But usually I give him the Art of Pain enhancement. So I want to sit him behind the enemy, just hiding. Now, you could add a Venom as well. And the Venom would allow you to split either the witches or one of the units of Cabalite Warriors to have multiple small units. So I do think it's very useful to have at least 1 Venom in your list for that technical capacity. So I'm going to add it in, which does mean we have to make sure that something goes inside of that before the battle starts. And then you split either the witches or one of these units of Cabalite Warriors. Then I wanted to add some firepower. And that's, of course, in the form of Ravagers that are very well costed and cheap with Dark Lances. And then 2 units of 5 Scourge. Scourge can have a variety of heavy weapons, and they are integral to be able to cracking open and killing tough targets. So I've decided to take 2, one with Dark Lances here and one with Haywires. And, well, that's a Heat Lance, but you could make them more Dark Lances. I would recommend. I'm still in the process of converting my Dark Lances. So a nice core of very hard-hitting units, with then some more support. 2 Chronos. I'd recommend running the Chronos as 2 individual units. Their ability to refund or essentially regenerate pain tokens allows the damage potential of the army to continue to be way up, even if you start running out of them or you use them a lot throughout the course of the game. So as you can see now, the army is really starting to take shape. So after I've done sort of this, I kind of like looking at the point values, seeing how many points we have remaining. And with that, we have 400 points remaining in this list. So we've got damage, we've got the core of like scoring. So what do we do with the additional 400 points? Well, let's start putting in some more fun units. And here are the last 400 points. So a unit of 6 Reaver Jet Bikes with 2 Heat Lances. A unit of Talos, my favorite loadout for Talos in this edition, or at least right now out of the index, is double Haywire, twin-link Drukhari gun, a Talos Gauntlet. And there you have it, 2 Talos. And then you have 5 Mandrakes. They also allow you to have some sneaky shenanigans when it comes to scoring and things like that. And there you have it. This is 2,000 points. This is a very balanced list, a little bit of everything. Shooting, a little bit of close combat, speed, mobility, anti-tank, anti-infantry. You have a great variety of units. So there you have it. List number 1, the balanced Drukhari build. Most of these kits are readily available and in plastic. I think the only ones that are hard to get your hands on right now are these Mandrakes, which are either fine cast or these are the old metal ones, and the Court of the Archon. Now that's 70 points and 95 points, so 170 some points. So you could sub them out for something else if you wanted to, if you're having a hard time, or great opportunity for you to convert units of your own. I hope you found that video useful. A huge shout out to the channel Patreons. Come join the Patreon. It's a great community. We have a Discord. We have bonus content every single week, and you get to hang out with me all the time. I love the community. It's great. Thanks to them, I get to do content like this. So Patreon is the best way to support what I do. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know with a comment down below what you thought and how would you build your flexible army list. What other army list would you like me to see? Skewed ones, competitive ones? What else would you like me to break down? So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. The Dark Kin. Bye, everybody.